and travel. And we're going to raise, before we go into these courts and everything, we're going to spend part of the middle part of this year and from next month on, from March or April, we're going to spend that part on, and we're going to raise $250,000. We're going to raise $250,000 because that's what we need to feel comfortable doing what we're getting ready to do. That's what we need to feel comfortable doing what we need to do. So we have to expand. We're going to do a lot of traveling because nothing beats personal direct contact. They got all of these new gadgets, push a button and you get a little money. That's fine. It's fine for them. But in our other periods, and we're still going to use those things, that we're going to do what we call prospecting. Just like you go out digging for gold, it's called prospecting. And the guy doing it is a prospector, right? So when we first kicked off, let's say 1980, 81, 82, we did those first few years doing a lot of prospecting, traveling, raising funds, meeting everybody. Okay, we've gotten a little behind. That stuff, we've been doing it, this is good. But now we got to not rejoin, but reacquaint ourselves with the whole Islamic movement in the United States. How you do that? You get one of them old raggedy cars, get it out on the road, drive it till it drops. If it drops, you get either wherever you're at, buy a car, another car, or come back here, just get on a Greyhound bus, come on back here. And what are we going to be doing? We're going to be prospecting, of course. Prospecting is looking for gold, right? Yep. We're going to be looking for gold. That's what prospecting is. And the best way to prospect is just like those old discussions, personal direct contact. Now for us, we could spend most of our time on this media. Other people could use that media all they want, but that's good for them because there's nobody sitting there trying to stop them from doing that, what they're doing. But there's people personally involved, and I don't know how much this shows on wherever, but when we go to the Masjid around the United States, and we got our boxes of CDs, of DVDs, we got our boxes of whatever we need. We're traveling and doing our job. That breaks down all the things that they, first of all, is personal direct contact. Now, everybody will tell you, well, that's old-fashioned. It takes too much time. Well, okay, if we've been sitting here for the last, I don't know how many eons of years, and my phone don't ring. Can you imagine? The phone don't ring that much. It used to ring. We used to have a big thing, several of them, we used to write down the numbers. People, that's in the old days. Write down the number, the message thing. You tear it off, it's got a copy under there, and you got a record of who called and everything. Okay, my phone doesn't ring for some reason. But by the time I travel all around the United States, 2 or 3 times, I stop in every masjid. Can you imagine how many they got now? And I have a package. I'm telling our story. I have a short story. People will say, hey, why don't you come to such and such and tell us that tonight? Within 1 year from today, we'll know where every masjid, there was a time when we knew where almost every masjid in the United States was. Why? Because we was on the road. A lot. Okay? We knew the people and they knew us. That was in the 80s. Do you know, and early 90s it was still, but they spent 25 years. They ain't played our program in 25 years. Only people will remember is the old people. And the people will think that those people that they're seeing now are the real movement people. Because your stuff is not getting out there. It's clearly not getting out there. So, okay, fine. Okay, you keep what you got. We're going out, and that's what we're going to do. Right? In other words, we have, it's technically, I would love for other people to get the experience that I be getting, or even feeling like I feel. I'm sure everybody's feeling good and they fine, but the things that you learn, the challenges that you have to grow up with or outgrow in order to move forward, the sustainability, how to sustain yourself under constant attack. You just grow. And if you go right, you grow without meanness, without hatred, without any of that stuff. Can you imagine you actually grow in a way that you develop the principles of charity and love and compassion and brotherhood? That's the way you look at it. Since you look at it like that way, that's the way everything comes to you, or you translate it into that. In other words, if bad things happen to you, they're classified as bad by the people that's doing it. But they're not bad to you because you're classifying that as good. Thank you very much. And when you classify them as good, guess what they become? They become good. Yeah, they become good. You get the benefit out of it. So you start spending your life where, you see beauty and hope and all kind of things where the people that's doing it might be think, why that so-and-so ain't mad? You know what I mean? Why they not hateful? You know what I'm saying? They're going to think that. Man, well, the people he ain't mad. You know what I mean? He ain't hateful. Well, why should you be hateful when Allah given you, don't misunderstand longevity. I can hear it kicked in. Yeah. See, one of the things about the African American movement, it came and they swept it aside. Longevity is very important. Being around a long time. How long did our movements last? Just count. Okay. They pop up. For a while, every time a movement pop up, government would bat it down. Bam. Leader pop up, they bat them down. Okay? You have to realize that we've been around in front of Boss Man's face for over 50 years on a substantial level. What we was doing in Oakland, East Oakland Enterprises, when everybody in Oakland, Martin Luther King went to Chicago in 1968, well, that's the same time we started on East Oakland Enterprises, 68 and 69. What does that mean? Now, we're a little younger than Martin Luther King. In fact, we're a whole lot younger than Martin Luther King. But we related to everybody, and guess what? They used to call me the mayor of Oakland, and somebody was trying to count up how many people worked for me, and one guy had this number, so many hundred people. I mean, directly working. Like, you got to imagine now, the thing that was different about Oakland was not only that black power rhetoric, but it was everybody was rolling in Oakland. Cadillacs, I mean, you know. Cadillacs, houses, young people in their early 20s, got families, Cadillacs and houses, whatever. That's the Negro era. That's what else you need. Call it petty paradise. It is petty paradise. In fact, we used to call Oakland, when I'd be in LA, I said, well, I'm going on back on up to paradise, because Oakland is a little above LA. And that's the way everybody in California felt about it, Oakland too. Man, that's paradise. Because niggas is having money. They buying the houses. And I'm one of the oldest ones, and I couldn't have been no more than 23, 24. I didn't leave the country till I was 25 or 26. I mean, after that whole stage, boss man is mad now, and everybody like me, and they don't like him. So he's mad at that. That's actually the way it was. You know, I'd see police in the courtroom somewhere, and all the pretty sisters, of course, some of them were going to court for like the little things like prostitutes. Hey, how's everything? And then the police are sitting next to me ready to go in and testify against me. And they would be mad. I said, yeah, see, everybody like me. Don't nobody like you. You ain't heard nobody say nothing to you, have they? You know, and they burning up. Who's this nigga? Everybody like him. I mean, this is a thing too. You got to get it in your mind. They, you know, in those movies, detective movies, anything you see, we're going to get you, big guy, you know, talking about the main. You talking about obsession. They were so obsessed that they was making nothing but legal mistakes. Everything they did, they wanted to put me away so bad, everything they was doing was technically illegal. When I would go to court, it would get thrown out, or because they just they went salivating at the mouth. Anyway, let me move on. A lot of time, a lot of water have ran under that bridge. But we've had the time, thanks to Allah, to evolve and also neutralize the harmful things that come at you. Neutralize that, but harmonize with the good stuff. That pretty soon, well, I'm not saying it, but you actually, technically, you'll become good. If you do good things, you're going to become good. If all of your solutions is good, if you don't, if they can't make you mad, like the stuff that I got calls on the phones. I got calls on my phone all day today, yesterday. It's from the crackpot crew in Oakland. Something is wrong with them. If I have my phone with me, you'll see it ringing, and I can show you, there they are, the whole line. And now it used to be no caller ID, but they just lost all control, and now they got their number, a couple of numbers they got, it's just right there. You remember I showed you all them calls? They can't not do it. And every now and then I'll pick it up and then slam it down. You know what I mean? You know, pick it up and let them get 2 words and then cut that boy off. Okay. I would like for everyone to understand that when If you go back 7 or 8 years ago, you could go back further, over 10 years ago, when we started with Mukhtar and Khadijah and them, we put money in accounts so they could do this, that, and other, and we did all those things. And the more we did on their behalf, the madder they got. The madder they got. Just like right now, right? They would tell the court, I mean, the court, the judge, all of them, they all in it together. And they would think, you would think that all of them in it together, they would make me mad or just upset. Oh, the government just come and said, oh, we like that property, we'll take it. I said, go on, keep it. We'll get it back, and we will get it back.